up? How are we all doing? Welcome back to another live watch-along Premier League Dad. My name's Key. How are we all doing? Live tonight for Páez against Strasbourg away. Wonderful game, this one, I think. At the... is it the Stade de Meinau? Is it the Meinau Stadium, this? I always forget Strasbourg's stadium name. Is it a spot? I don't think it's a sponsor name in it, is it? I'm sure it's the Stade de Meinau. Meinau. Le Meinau. There you go, Le Meinau. Le Meinau is the stadium that they're playing at tonight. Palace have gone with Henderson in goal. They've got Gay, Lacroix and Camvo at the back. Mitchell left back, Munoz right back, Hughes and Lerma in front of the defence. And then Yeremy Pino, Ismail Assar, Jean-Philippe Mateta through the middle. Wharton and Kamada on the bench, as is Nketiah, Esse, Richards, Devaney, Cardenas. Lots of quality on that Palace bench as well. But this is a big game, this, for Palace. And actually a really big game for Strasbourg as well, under Liam Rosenior. Absolutely resurgent. This Strasbourg team. They're fabulous. They're playing unbelievable stuff. 5th in Ligue 1 at the minute. But playing really well. And some really top quality young players in the side. Emegha, who has just signed for Chelsea, by the way, next year. Emmanuel Emegha, one of the starters tonight. As is Enciso, another player who's on loan from Chelsea after his time at Brighton. Although he's not actually. He's not. Is he from Chelsea? I don't think he's. Did he go via Chelsea in the end? Doesn't he? So can't remember. Adrian Berder, hi mate, Newcastle fan, tuning into this. Will be a good game. Yes, good to see you, Adrian. How's it going? Oliver Dwyer, do you think Crystal Palace have the squad to win the Conference League? Yes, absolutely. And Adrian agrees. I'd say Palace are good enough to win the Conference League. Yeah, you'd say so, for sure. I mean, I don't know of any other... Maybe, to be honest, these might well be two of the favourites. If you look at the sides that are in the Conference League, I'm not sure. Like, you've got... Look at the teams at the top of the Conference League table. So you've got Samsunspor, who are top. Celje, Mainz, Rakow, AEK Larnaca, who've already beaten Palace once this season. Don't know why the clock's on that, sorry. Let me restart that. 48 seconds. Palace. Oh, hey, Mateta was very nearly in there. Right, there you go. We're all synced up. So Rakow, AEK Larnaca. Fiorentina's a good side. Strasbourg are a good side. I don't think Alkmaar can win it, to be honest, but I think it's probably concentrated between Palace, Fiorentina, Strasbourg, and Mainz. They would probably be the sides that I would look at and say they've got a realistic chance of winning it. The rest of them, no, there's not an awful lot of quality there. But then again, nobody would have expected Palace to lose against AEK Larnaca, would they? So, you know, it can all change very quickly. Adrian says, I'm sure Chelsea signed Enciso and either sold or loaned him to Strasbourg. Yeah, I thought something like that. There was some kind of, you know, jiggery-pokery or whatever it's called. There was some kind of moving around of stuff to make it look a certain way. But yeah, ultimately he's on loan, I think, at Strasbourg. And even if he isn't on loan, even if it was a straight move to Strasbourg, I think we know Chelsea, if they wanted him, they could get him. And that's why Chelsea have got so many players on loan at Strasbourg. Moreira's there. Emegha they've just signed. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea's next manager is Liam Rosenior. The way he's done really well there. Kendry Páez as well is another one who's on loan here at Strasbourg. In terms of the lineups, by the way, we did go through the Palace side, but not the Strasbourg side. Strasbourg have got Penders in goal, another Chelsea player on loan. Doué right back, Hogsberg, Sarr and Barco. Is Sarr Mamadou? No, Mamadou Sarr isn't, is he? Mamadou Sarr's... Oh, he is. There you go. Mamadou Sarr is a Chelsea player. I thought he was. Hogsberg, Sarr, Barco, Decore and Mourabet. El Mourabet in midfield. Moreira, who is a Chelsea player, and Enciso, Nanasi and Emegha. I'm surprised. I thought we would see Panichelli and Páez tonight. Hey, and by the way, considering we've got lots and lots of Forest fans who frequent our lives, Omo Bamidele. You might remember Andrew Omo Bamidele, who played for Forest once upon a time. He is now at Strasbourg and playing very, very well. Moreira, good ball in. Cleared away. It's a big, big pitch, this one at Strasbourg. I remember Liverpool losing here back in the day. Will's Wizard says, is Rangers v Braga the right match, or could Palace Strasbourg be better? Well, I've gone with Palace Strasbourg. I think Rangers Braga will be a good game, though. You're right. Oh, Mateta wins it back. Oh, unlucky. I tell you what, on the keeper, Penders, he was a mile off his line there. If Mateta gets his head up, he could have had a shot from the halfway and probably had a good chance at scoring. Olex, hello, I am from Poland. Nice, good to see you, mate. Philippines, I don't know why we have Gassama playing as a striker and Chimiti playing as our left winger. Gassama's centre forward. That's crazy. Papa John's, did I see right? Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3 in Holland. You did, yeah. Here's Ismail Assar. Out to Munoz. Mateta brings it down. Out of play, unlucky. And Waterbrew says, Key, do you think people argue that this form is worse than Roy era due to all our superstars? I think it's because most of them who are saying that, mate, weren't around during the Roy Hodgson era to fully appreciate just how bad that team was. And also, not just how bad it was. You know what it was? You know what the big issue with Roy Hodgson was? He was so thoroughly unlikable. Like, he wasn't a likeable person. Not just because of his results, but because of the things he did and the things he said. He was so, like, the opposite of what a Liverpool manager should be, and how he spoke and how he carried himself, and, you know, everything, all the mistakes that he could... I actually think he seems a decent fella, Roy Hodgson, but there was just some stuff that he did that you look at and think, mate, you're getting it all wrong. Like, embracing Alex Ferguson and having a laugh and a joke with him on the touchline while we're playing Man United, like, all that stuff, just like, mate, no, you don't do that. You don't do that between Liverpool and United. It can't happen. It's not the friendly derby. Liam says, what would happen if Strasbourg wins the comp and Chelsea get the Europa League? So if that were to happen, then it would boil down to who finishes higher in the league. Yeah, so and that's why there was a little bit of a conspiracy theory, wasn't there, about Chelsea last season and Strasbourg, because on the final day of the season, Chelsea went into their game against Nottingham Forest, didn't they? Potentially, well, they needed a win against Forest to finish fourth, and they got it. But if Strasbourg had won, I think Strasbourg could have finished third on the final day of Ligue 1. And if Strasbourg had finished third, Chelsea had finished fourth, Strasbourg would have gone into the Champions League. And Chelsea would not. Chelsea would have been in the Europa League this season. And on the final day of the season, Strasbourg had... Oh, there you are. Mateta has just had a shot from distance against Penders. Didn't lob him in the end. Chimey, how's it going, Chimey? Good to see you. Yeah, on the final day, there was a really odd decision given, and it was a poor tackle in the end from a player who's on loan at Strasbourg from Chelsea, who gave away a penalty in the final minute of the game, and Strasbourg ended up drawing or losing, and that meant they finished fifth instead of third. It's stuff like that. Jake, how bad was the Roy Hodgson era? I wasn't born back then. Yeah, bad. Really bad. Rating Irons Game says, me physio is a Palace fan. He's probably watching this. You've got a physio. Check you out. Oh, Mateta's in. Oh, unlucky. Nearly 1-0 to Palace. If it had just got hold of that, he was 1-0. Well, he was through on goal. It would have been 1-0, surely. He was clean through. Your physio is a Palace fan. And Waterbrew says, I really don't understand the joint ownership crap. Is it just to stop match fixing or something? Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't think clubs should be able to own multiple teams. I think it's shocking. I don't like the multi-club ownership thing. And Liverpool, by the way, are a club who are about to start doing it. I don't want to see it happen. But it is the way that football is going, and it's a way to circumvent the financial rules. Because ultimately what can happen is what City did with Girona, where they can sign a player who maybe is worth... Like Savinho. Didn't Savinho go to City in the end for like 20 million quid? Like, he was a player who maybe was worth 50 to 60 on the market. He went for 20. And City have sold players to Girona for very, very cheap, knowing that maybe they'll make a massive profit on them. And then Girona can... It's all moving things. It's all moving things around. It's all moving things around and just, to try and get the financial stuff right. Philippines, you can tell Gassama doesn't like being played striker. He keeps dropping to the left and the right side. Here's Will Hughes. Certainly an underrated player, Will Hughes, isn't he? Feels like he doesn't get the praise he deserves, I think, as a Palace player. Very talented. He's the kind of midfielder that Liverpool could do with right now, Samo Bob also loaning players to get, to get clubs to get him off the books. It's all cooking the books, innit? Here's Strasbourg, should be, big save from Henderson. Big save. Left-footed strike from, who is it who ends up getting through there? It's near post. He probably should save it in the end. It's Moreira who plays it in. And it's El Murabet who has the strike. And near post. Unlucky. And now it's a Strasbourg corner. Ball whipped in. Headed away. Unlucky. Come on, Palace. Come on, Palace. You've got to root for Palace in Europe. I kind of want Palace to keep hold of Glasner. I want him to... I'm kind of rooting for him. It feels like it's a good luck story or a success story. You want to see teams like Palace have this sort of stuff because it reinforces the magic of football, doesn't it? That teams can come up to the Premier League and win and be successful, and that's what you want. You want that to happen. Here's Emegha. Good play. Ball whipped in near post, unlucky. Far post, Moreira. Drags it. One to watch, though. One to watch him, Moreira. Dangerous player so far. Palace getting caught on these crosses. Nah, he shins that. Poor. Poor in the end, innit? Shins it. I need to see how the rest of Europe's getting on tonight in terms of the Conference League. How are we getting on? Right, so Shamrock Rovers 0, Shakhtar 0. Rijeka 0, AEK Larnaca 0. Legia Warsaw 0, Sparta Prague 0. Jagiellonian 0, Kups 0. Fiorentina 0, AEK 0. Drita 0, Skendia 0. Breidablik 1, Samsunspor 0. That is massive. Breidablik of the Icelandic League beating the Conference League's table toppers, Samsunspor, who haven't conceded a goal in the entire tournament. They're 1-0 down in Iceland. Let's have a look at the Europa League. What's going on in the Europa League? Betis Utrecht 0-0. Bologna Salzburg 0-0. Go Ahead Eagles Stuttgart 0-0. Genk have just scored against Bâle. Maccabi Tel Aviv 0, Lyon 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Malmo 0, Panathinaikos 0, Sturm Graz 0, Rangers 0, Braga 0, and Red Star 0, Steaua Bucharest 0. Samo Bob says, I wish more managers that bring up the level of clubs stay at the clubs rather than taking the big jobs. It's kind of part of clubs not recognising how important it is to keep managers, though, isn't it? And Chelsea, unfortunately, as we were talking about in the last stream, Chelsea kind of create the model for sacking managers quite quickly. So as soon as a manager does do well at a, not going to say a smaller club, but a club who, nearly 1-0 to Strasbourg. Nanasi with a strike. Yeah, so as soon as a club does quite well, you know, they tend to lose the manager, don't they? Look at Graham Potter. Graham Potter had like a season and a half doing well at Brighton. Chelsea come in and pinch him because they're not bothered. They take all of the staff and Graham Potter, and he's gone within 6 months, isn't he? Gal says, Isak had one job this season, stopped Lego Ed winning the league, and now it's up to the Chelsea. It's up to the Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea aren't winning the league. Chelsea aren't winning the league. That's not happening. And Tem says, hi mate, just wondering if you've got the same feeling you had all summer about Isak. What feeling? What feeling was that? What feeling did you say? I don't know. I need to know what you're talking about in terms of the same feeling I had. Samoa Bob says, still feel Pep and Man City go on a run. I know their current form is poor, but I feel it happening. I'll be honest, I mean, look, you can't look past Arsenal because the amount of money they've spent and the consistency of the squad staying together. Like, they've not had the disruption that Liverpool have had. I'm surprised with Manchester City. I am surprised. But Arsenal are fighting two teams who aren't at it right now, so I'm sure they will take it in the end. Tem says, arrogant about how well he was going to do. Ha ha ha, worst start since 1950. I don't believe I never said anything about how well he was going to do. I just said that he would go to Liverpool. He would fuck Newcastle off and go to Liverpool, and he did. Yeah, at the drop of a hat. That's all I said. I said he's not staying at Newcastle if Liverpool come in for him. And I had Newcastle fans going, yeah, he will. He loves it here. Nah, no, listen, Liverpool. If Liverpool phone you up, you're coming. If we wanted Tonali, we'd take him. We don't, but if we wanted him, we could have him. Same with Bruno and anyone else you've got who's half decent. But we don't want either of them, to be honest. You can keep them. We could do with anyone really in our midfield right now, but if we're signing someone, we don't want Tonali. Temp signed a player for 135 million with no thighs. Cheers for the money. You're welcome. We've got plenty of it, mate. It's what you get when you're successful. Got plenty of it. I am Kroot, Wirtz and Isak aren't the worrying signs. They're obviously quality. Kerkez is the worrying one. Kerkez is not the worrying one. Why is Kerkez the worrying one? Mate, Kerkez did nothing wrong last night. Kerkez was really good last night. Kerkez actually had a good game for us. Ben says Samsunspor doing me already. Yeah, Samsunspor will do alright against Breidablik. They've not conceded a goal all competition. I know they're 1-0 down, but they should be alright in that one. Temps, where's that accent from? Interesting, where you from? I was born in Liverpool, mate, yeah. Born in Liverpool. I am Kroot says, mate, his positioning for the second goal was abysmal. Right, watch it back, because he has two players. He has to go with one of them, right? And what he ends up doing is he ends up staying in between the two. So people are like, oh, he's got to get goal side of this fella. But he's got a fella on the other side. What happened is Konate, well, actually, what happened was, if we're dead honest, Salah didn't press. So Curtis had to jump. Konate then has to come across. It just starts a domino effect. Konate comes across, Van Dijk comes across, then Kerkez has to come across and cover Van Dijk's man, who is the guy who scores the goal, by the way. And Kerkez's man is right behind him. So Kerkez is left with two fellas, one here, one here. He's rocking a hard place. It isn't Kerkez's fault. It's absolutely not Kerkez's fault. Adrian Berder, have you seen Keith Smith from Alkmaar play at all? I have. I've watched a lot of Keith Smith. We watched him against Palace not that long ago, but yeah, I've I saw Keith Smith in the UEFA Under-21 tournament. Was it the Under-21 or was it the Under-19s? Can't remember if it was the Under-21s or the Under-19s we watched him in over the summer. And he was fantastic. He was absolutely brilliant. I think it was the 21s. We watched both of them anyway. We watched the Under-21s and the Euro Under-19s tournaments. And saw lots of fabulous young players, one of which was Keith Smith. He was the one that stood out for Holland. He was fantastic. Chance for Palace. Oh, unlucky. There you go. Samson Sport have equalised, Ben. I Am Crew says, mate, his positioning for the second goal was abysmal. And G says, Kirk's hate is so forced, man. He's such a good playmaker. Yeah. Adzol says, how have LFC been so bad after being title winners? Well, it's the same as we was last time we won the title. If you remember, last time we won the title, we lost 6 games out of 7 under Jurgen Klopp. That did happen, you know. It did happen. We were exactly the same as this under Jurgen Klopp. Literally the same. Gee, he won it with a Klopp team. His tactics, people need to relax. The team is new, need to gel. Exactly. Here's Emegha. Fiorentina's goal's been ruled out against AEK Athens, by the way. And Samoa Bob, in America, we call it champions fatigue or champion slump. Champion fatigue. That's such an American expression. I love it. Champion fatigue. The guys are just dealing with champion fatigue at the moment. Oh, Brad Bobley. Sorry, mate. I just went off on a tangent there. Ben, I need a goal in this one before half-time. Got Palace, both teams to score. I think it could be tight, this one. I honestly think it's going to be tough. Adrian Berder says, any news on Ekatike injury from last night? Apparently Ekatike will be fit for the weekend, or at least in the squad. They're confident the injury isn't that bad. But he should be okay. Wirtz apparently is back, and Alisson is definitely back, because Alisson's was just a bug. It was just sickness. So Alisson will be back for the West Ham game. Wirtz will be back for the West Ham game. I imagine Isak, Wirtz start up front. I'd love it if Ekatike could as well, but I don't think he does. I imagine it's probably Salah, Isak, and Gakpo again. But I would love it if Slot showed some balls and dropped McAllister and Kanate as a bare minimum. I would love to see Joe Gomez in the back four, and I would love to see Wataru Endo in the midfield. Yeah, I think that's super, super important for me. Adzo, do you watch any other sport, Key? Do you like the darts? Not really, no, mate. I don't mind a bit of darts. Like, don't mind. Yeah, no, it's not really my thing. No, I'm pretty much just footy. Like, I'm from St Helens originally, so of course I'm going to watch a little bit of rugby league. But no, as a general rule, it is just the football. 405 says predictions for the Forest game. Well, it's Malmo, and Malmo are typically involved in high-scoring games. So, given Forest put 3, I thought Forest have got Sean Dyche now. That's the limiter for high-scoring games, isn't it? Yeah, Sean Dyche in Europe, I would imagine, is a 1-0 specialist to Forest. If it was Ange Postecoglou against Malmo, I'd be saying maybe 4-3 to Forest. But 1-0, Sean Dyche side. That's what I'm predicting. Ben, I've got Stuttgart, Samson Spor, Palace BTTS, Lyon BTTS, and BTTS in the Genk game. Yeah, Lyon against Maccabi Tel Aviv. I don't think Maccabi beat or get a goal past them. 405 says, when is Frimpong going to be back? I think Frimpong is back in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. I'm sure they said towards like sort of the second week of December. Conor Bradley should be back about the same time, so we're going to have to deal with no right back for another 3 or 4 games probably. It's frustrating, isn't it? Really frustrating. There you go, Maccabi Tel Aviv 0, Lyon 2 now, Ben. Tolisso, Corentin Tolisso scoring. Here's Munoz. Oh, good chance. Hit it. Oh, skied. Jefferson Lerma absolutely skies it. Poor. Very poor. In an ideal world, I really would like to see Palace and Forest winning these respective competitions. If Palace were to win this, Forest were to win the Europa League, that's what you want to see again, isn't it, next year? You'd love to see it and get them back in Europe again. Liam says, why don't you try something where you play Kirkes right back and Robertson left back? Andy Robertson could play right back for us, I think. I don't know if Kirkes could. I think Kirkes, people are saying, like, he's a young player. You want to keep him ideally in his position. Robertson, we've tried at centre-back at various times, and I don't think he's our centre-back, but I could see maybe Robertson having the experience to play on the right-hand side. That's great play by Mateta. That's wonderful play, and he's over the top here for Pino. Oh, unlucky. Good defending. Good defending from Strasbourg. Liam says you never know, it might work. Hey, it could. Yeah, it could. There's no doubt about it. It certainly could work. It certainly could. I just don't think it will. Dominic Nash, would John Stones and Ake and Rodri and Bernardo Silva and Savinio and James Trafford leave in January? No. No, I don't think so. Bologna 1, Salzburg 0. Adrian says, Robbo's got to start ahead of Kirkes at the weekend. Salah needs to be dropped, in my opinion. I'd like to see Kirkes keep his place. But I tell you what I would be open to. Robbo left back, Kirkes left wing. Could that be an option? Maybe playing both of our left-sided players in the same game. Push Kirkes higher. Because he's someone who we know has got the ability to attack and he's got a bit of pace about him. I could see that. That wouldn't be the worst idea. Kirkes playing a bit further forward. But I agree about Salah as well. Yeah, Salah for me, I think he needs to be dropped, but I don't know if he will be. Because let's be honest, is he actually going to end up taking Salah off? Here's Palace on the counter-attack. Munoz, good tackle, defending, well done. Emegha all the way back, tracking his man and getting the ball cleared away. That's what you want to see from your centre-forward. Look at him. Look at the energy to get back there. That's unbelievable from Emmanuel Emegha. That's going to set him in good stead in the Premier League. We'll see him in the Premier League next year at Chelsea. And that's absolutely wonderful stuff. Harley Harwood says, I was slotting till yesterday, and that was my final straw. Well, hey, to each their own, mate. That's up to you. But I think Slot has to stay. Forest 1, Malmo 0. We have lift-off. Yatesy scores. We are in the trend. And Dominic Nash says, what happens if it does happen? It won't happen. City aren't going to sell all those in January. Oh, Will Hughes is down. Not good. Will Hughes might need to come off here for Palace. Poor fella. Poor fella. It was Barco. Oh, yeah. He's just landed awkwardly on his right knee there, hasn't he? Might have just tweaked it ever so slightly, but you can see he's not quite happy with it. So it might be a change, an early forced change here for Palace. But they're down to 10 for the time being. 405, do you think Arsenal will bottle again this season? Listen, they've got experience for bottling it, but I don't think so, no. Chimey, Key, do you still keep in touch with your high school mates? Not really. No, there's a couple of them. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not even necessarily I don't keep in touch. It's more like I'm still like I've got them on like social media and stuff. Like I still got them on Instagram and Facebook and whatever. See their life and like there's people who've moved onto the other side of the world, and I've got friends who are in Australia and America and stuff now. Who've they've grown up, they've got married, they've had kids and met women and gone off wherever. So it's difficult to keep in touch like in any meaningful way. I don't really see regularly any of my schoolmates, no. But if I see them, I mean, I have gone into I've gone into the pub and seen them, and I've gone over and bought them a drink and sat with them for half an hour and had a chat to them, and yeah, still friendly with a lot of them. Why'd you ask? Adrian says, do you think Liverpool will recall Harvey Elliott in January? No, absolutely not. Wouldn't be good for him, wouldn't be good for us. It's not the right thing. Three-star Red says, no one is more deserving than Yates to get his first European goal. Well, it's been a pretty disappointing start to this one. In terms of entertainment, we've not really seen too much in the way of clear chances. Ooh, good piece of play that from Páez. Ball kept in. Emegha! Wow, unlucky. Just wide. He's got a claim for a penalty, but I don't think you're going to get it. You're not getting a penalty for that, Sunshine. Never. Never, ever, ever. No chance. We love you, Villa, we do. Great result for Villa, wasn't it? Nearly threw it away in the end, though. Very nearly threw it away in the end. Gary Nugent, 838. When is the Liverpool title parade this year? It was on May the... Was it in May? It was May the... Was it May the 20... I can't remember the exact date. Someday in May it was, mate, yeah. Someday in May we had the title parade. Yeah, should have been about 5 or 6. Not sure how that finished 2-1. And honestly, very nearly threw it away, didn't you, in the end? It was... I was so gutted because I wanted to see you stick 4 or 5 past them. The way the fans behaved, you want to see... I'd have liked to see Villa win anyway, but I really wanted Marlon to go over and get a hat-trick and do a full Adebayor in front of the Young Boys fans. Fed up of Ollie Watkins. Marlon is a winger playing out of position, scoring more than him. Did Ollie Watkins play tonight? I think, to be honest, Ollie Watkins is a player who Arsenal very nearly signed in January, didn't they? I think it was very close to a deal getting done in January, Ollie Watkins to Arsenal, and when it didn't happen, I think he's kind of seen his arse with Unai Emery. I think he's lost his head a little bit, and he's gone, do you know what? I'm not happy. I'm not happy anymore at Villa. So he's thrown his toys out the pram. And that is also the case, mate, with a lot of Liverpool players. Because we tried to sell Cody Gakpo in the summer. I think we told Mohamed Salah that we plan on selling him in the summer. I think Kanate has told the club he wants to leave. And I don't know what's going on with Alexis McAllister, but there was rumours about Real Madrid with him as well. So I feel like we've got the same sort of issue you're having with Ollie Watkins. We've got it with about 4 or 5 players. And those 4 or 5 players, we've got this perfect storm at the minute, and that's why Liverpool are in the position that they're in. Chimey says, just got a message from an old friend. It's been 12 years. Wow. Well, hey, if you want to speak to him, speak to him. It's nice. It's nice connecting with old friends. Yeah, do it. Why not? Life's too short, mate. Honestly, go out, meet people, have a chat. It's all good. Afford people their mistakes, their errors. Be forgiving. Everyone fucks up. Adrian Berder, what's the best goal you've seen live? Best goal I've seen live. Best goal I've seen live. Possibly Gerrard against Middlesbrough at Anfield. That was a very, very good goal. Regrettably, I saw the Rooney goal against Newcastle. I was at Old Trafford for that game through a bizarre turn of events. But yeah, I saw that one. That was probably up there as well. I'm trying to think of like really, really top Liverpool goals that I've seen over the years. Risa in the Community Shield against Chelsea. That was pretty good as well. The Lord's Gym. The Lord's Gym. 4668. Crystal Palace. Good to see you, mate. At the moment, if Forest get more clinical, we could get 4 or 5 here tonight. Adrian, what's the best goal you've seen live as a Newcastle fan? In fact, everyone tell me. Who is it? What's the best goal you've seen live? Here's Mateta. Chance for Palace. It's 1-0. Who's stuck it in? Is it Mitchell? It's Tyrick Mitchell. It's 1-0. And the left backs put Palace in front. There you go. Crystal Palace. Great play from Mateta. Jean-Philippe Mateta with the goal, with the set-up. Slips it inside the left back. Great little piece of play from Mateta. He chests it down so strong. The centre-backs can't get around him. And he just slides it in. And Mateta, brilliant play. Rolls it onto Mitchell. And Mitchell just runs in and drills it in the bottom corner. Straight across the keeper. Great finish. First goal in 3 matches. First goal for Tyrick Mitchell in Europe. But Mateta does wonderful here. This is world class from Mateta. Absolutely world class. That is exact. Look at the state of that. There's 2 centre backs need to occupy him, and they still can't occupy him. He is unbelievable, Mateta. I love that in a striker. I love when they can just bully defenders like that. But they've still got a bit about him. He's still a bit cute with the ball. He's not like brute force. He's unbelievable. He's so clever with the ball. Just an all-round brilliant player. Adrian, my favourite goal live is the brace from Laurent Robert v Tottenham. Was that one the free kick? One of them the free kick. I saw a good Laurent Robert goal at Anfield. I think it might have been the FA Cup. Took a free kick against us at Anfield and rattled it in. I'm sure that was the FA Cup. But yeah, Laurent Robert goal at Anfield. He scored quite a few, didn't he? Doloward said, come on, I told you, bro, I'm from India. Nice, good to see you, mate. Jay Sakini says, I do wonder why Endo isn't getting much game time. Yeah, you know what, I don't know. Honestly, couldn't tell you. Ismail Assar! Oh, off the post! Palace nearly 2-0 up here. Pender's having a bit of a shocker. The young goalkeeper on loan from Chelsea. This is the guy they hope might be the next Petr Cech. On this evidence, maybe not so much. Garnacho against us at Goodison, says Mick. Mo Diame against Brighton also. Xavi, Burnley was good. Salah v Chelsea 2019, that's good, yeah. Onye says, Key, are you slot out? Good to see you, mate, by the way. Long time no see. Am I slot out? No, absolutely I am not. And Onye, I know United is probably a downgrade from Villa in terms of the pitch, but what he could gain a lot. Ollie should have joined United in the summer when there was some interest from them, and he should have pushed for a move. To be honest, I think Ollie Watkins has been pushing for a move, and I think the club have told him no. We know for sure that he pushed for a move to Arsenal in January. It wouldn't surprise me if he did the same with United, and the club have told him no. We know that Unai Emery is very strong on this stuff. He's a wonderful manager, and part of the reason he is a wonderful manager is because when big clubs come in for his players, which inevitably they do, he's very good at telling them no. You don't get to go. Unless they pay big money for you, you're going nowhere. So you can either knuckle down, or you can sulk, and you'll sit in the stands. I don't care. Doesn't make a difference to me. I'll bring someone else in. And that's what he's done, hasn't he? He's brought Daniel Marlon in, and Marlon started playing well and scoring. So Ollie Watkins now, his stock, his value has gone. So Ollie Watkins, who once upon a time you would have said is a cert to go to England's, go to the World Cup. He ain't going to the World Cup now, is he? He's definitely not going to the World Cup, Ollie Watkins. Jay Sakini, we've done that one. Onye, where do you think Morgan Rogers will end up? I don't think he'll be at Villa for his whole career. Well, again, allegedly, Liverpool negotiated a pre-agreement with Aston Villa this summer. How true that is, we don't know. Might be not true at all, but apparently it's part of the Harvey Elliott deal. And maybe it only activates if Harvey Elliott goes. I don't know, but we sold Harvey Elliott to Villa incredibly cheap. 35 million quid when his true value was closer to 50, 55, I think. Or at least that was like his book value at the time. Like he was, not his book value, you know what I mean. Whatever, his market value. His market value is a lot more than the 35 million we got from Villa. And if that isn't activated, maybe the Morgan Rogers thing isn't. But allegedly, all credible club sources that have been right before have suggested Liverpool went in for Morgan Rogers and were told, you can't have him right now, but next summer, we'll look at it. Chance here for Palace. Pino! Ow! Unlucky, nearly 2. Oh, Palace, he could have killed it. Betis 1, Utrecht 0. Rob Newby says, hold on, he can't even get on the pitch. Villa haven't paid nothing. No, he can't get on the pitch, not because he's not playing well. He isn't getting on the pitch because if he plays 5 more... If he has 5 more appearances for Villa, they have to pay Liverpool £35 million. So that's why he can't get on the pitch. It's nothing to do with Villa or Harvey Elliott. It's just they don't want to pay the money unless they are certain they want to keep him. And I think, if I'm honest, they might not. I don't know. We don't know what happens. Jake, how's it going, Jake? Good to see you, mate. And Gogsy, will we ever see a return to 4-4-2 in the Premier League? I think you will. I think if Arne Slot gets his way, Liverpool will be playing 4-4-2. 4-4-2. We will absolutely be playing it. That's exactly the system that I think he wants to settle on. And that will involve getting rid of Mo Salah, getting rid of Cody Gakpo, bringing in more midfielders, bringing in more centre forwards. And I think that's exactly what we'll do. Maybe even bringing in a couple more wing backs. Rob says, but you just said it was a bargain price. Yeah, it is a bargain price. 35 million is a bargain price for Harvey Elliott, isn't it? 35 million is a lot less than his market value is or was. Jordan says, best goal I ever saw live was Darren Ambrose v United. Don't think that'll ever be beat. Yeah, what a goal that was. Rocket into the Stretford end top corner, wasn't it? Brilliant goal, that. Eric Edmond did one similar to that for Spurs against Liverpool. Adrian Berder says, your favourite Premier League era? Mine is late 90s to early 2000s. Yeah. I did like, when we say 90s to early 2000s, I think that is prime Premier League era, sort of 98, 99 to maybe 2004-05. That was like Soccer AM. Prime Soccer AM. You wake up at Soccer AM. It's Ben Chilwell. Jesus Christ. Ben Chilwell's on the pitch. Hogsburg's gone off. Chilwell, come on. And 3-star Reds, this way is going. The Forest ground staff have an easy job tomorrow repairing the pitch. The game is only being played in one half of it. Anya says, Gakpo is class. I'd love him at United. He is class. But I think we've made our mind up, or he's made his mind up, that he doesn't want to be at Liverpool anymore. So we're not seeing the best of Cody Gakpo at the minute. Nottingham Forest 2, Malmo 0. Gogsy says, Stig Inge Bjornaby was a great wing-back back in the day. I don't know about great. He was alright when he was... And he wasn't really even a wing-back. He was very good defensively. We played 4-4-2 with Stig Inge Bjornaby. We had Mark Wright and Phil Babb at centre-back. Or Bjorn Torkavami and Rigobert Song at centre-back. We didn't have the best defence then. But yeah, Stig Inge Bjornaby and Oyvind Leonardson just in front of him. Gogsy, I loved him. He had a good... He was a good crosser of the ball, wasn't he, Stig Inge Bjornaby? Could certainly put a cross in. Oh, Palace here. Wonderful play by Pino. Munoz. Back to Pino. This is fabulous play. Sarr takes it down. Oh! I was going to claim a handball there. He keeps it in. That's going to be a corner, is it? Nah, goal kick. Kalimwendo gets the second for Forest. Rob, do you think Liverpool finish bottom half? No, Rob, I don't think so. Like I said, we're only, even now, even if you look at the Premier League table now, Liverpool are within arm's reach of the Champions League, and that is the nature of the Premier League. Is pretty much everyone is within 3 points of the Champions League places because it's still like November. So Liverpool are 3 points away from the Champions League spots. We could, in theory, be in the Champions League places by the end of this week. Gogsy says Liverpool's defence was dodgy back in the late 90s. Yeah, but that was our issue, wasn't it? Our team in the mid 90s and the late 90s, to be honest, was very, very good in attack. Like, really good in attack. We had the likes of Fowler and McManaman rushing forward and, you know, Owen as well. We had really, really good attackers. Midfield was, like, okay. Like, we had a decent midfield. But defence and goalkeeper was shocking. Like, we had a young David James. Or we at one point we had Brad Friedel. And then we had Sander Westerveld. And, you know, these are not goalkeepers who were brilliant for us. Although David James did go on to be a very good keeper in time. Rob Newby says Fowler was a great player. Robbie Fowler's my favourite player. I grew up he was my idol growing up. Robbie Fowler, what a player. God. Onyé says, I still think Liverpool can finish top 4 or lowest, like 7th or 8th. We'll finish in the top 4. We will finish in the top 4. Yeah. I think Liverpool will get it right. Adrian, Robbie Fowler was absolutely class, great goal scorer. He did his knee, but I still maintain that he is the best young player. Oh, here we go, Palace. Yeah, I think he is the best young centre-forward that the Premier League has ever seen. And I include the likes of Wayne Rooney in that. Robbie Fowler won the best. I think he won PFA Young Player of the Year back-to-back, and he's the only player to do it. He scored 30 goals plus 3 or 4 seasons running. From being about 17, 18 years of age, he got 30 goals. Better than Owen, comfortably better than Owen. Robbie Fowler was twice the player Michael Owen was. Michael Owen never got 20 Premier League goals, do you know that? That's always my argument with people saying Michael Owen. He never got 20 Premier League goals. He's the most overrated player in Premier League history, comfortably. Or certainly one of the most overrated centre-forwards. I can't believe the guy got a Ballon d'Or. He got a Ballon d'Or, basically, for how he played for England in the World Cup a couple of years ago. But never, ever scored 20 Premier League goals in a season. And if you look at the list of players who got 20 Premier League goals, you're talking like Michael Bridges, you know, players, I mean, not necessarily like top class players. Good players, like Kevin Phillips got it, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank got it. You know, there was lots and lots of good centre forwards, but Michael Owen was never like elite. Never. He was fantastic for a spell, and his pace was incredible. But as soon as he did his hamstring against Leeds, gone. Never the same player. He was done as a player from being about 23, 24. Finished. Right, half time here at the Stade de Meinau in Strasbourg. Palace 1-0 and fully deserved to be in the lead. They've hit the post as well. They probably should be even further in front. Forest 2-0 up as well in the other game. Kaiser Soze, Owen won a Ballon d'Or. He did, yes. But winning a Ballon d'Or doesn't mean that you are the best centre-forward. I mean, like I said, Robbie Fowler, ask any Liverpool fan. I'll be honest, Robbie Fowler, even if you just look at the numbers, Robbie Fowler was a better player than Michael Owen. In every single sense, he was far better. Red says your mental boy was elite from 16. He wasn't elite from 16. He wasn't elite from 16. He scored his first goal for Liverpool when he was 17 away at Wimbledon, and we lost in that game. But he was really good player, but not elite. Not like all-timer. He was one of the best young players in the world. Yeah, one of the best young players in the world. Red says Fowler was a druggie. Well, again, that's certainly one of the things that was alleged. Yorkshire Red, Robbie Fowler never got over 30 goals and assists twice. That is categorically not true. That is categorically not true. Robbie Fowler, here we go. Robbie Fowler got 94-95 season, right? Bearing in mind, 94-95, Robbie Fowler was 19. Right? So 19 years of age, Robbie Fowler got 31 goals in 57 games. At 19. At 20, he got 36 in 53. At 21, he got 31 in 44. Like, the guy was hitting 30 plus goals a season, like, repeatedly at 18, 19, 20, 21. Even at 18, he got 18 goals in 28 games. The guy was just absolutely outrageous. Red, Andy Cole was better. Andy Cole, I'll happily have an argument. Andy Cole was brilliant too. I don't think he was as good as Robbie Fowler, and Andy Cole was a lot older than Robbie Fowler was. Like, I feel like Robbie Fowler maybe... Because you've got to remember, how old was Andy Cole? Andy Cole ended up playing... I mean, he's 5. Andy Cole was like 4 or 5 years older than Robbie Fowler. So by the time Robbie Fowler was coming through, Andy Cole was already top quality. He was already like 23, 24, breaking through at Newcastle and going to Man United. By the time Fowler was just like sort of getting into the Liverpool side. But yeah, Cole... I think maybe if Fowler hadn't done his knee, because that's what killed Fowler. If Fowler hadn't done his knee, he might have gone on to become... I mean, look, Gary Neville said it himself. Go and have a look at what Gary Neville said about Robbie Fowler. Gary Neville said if Robbie Fowler hadn't done his knee... I don't even think he mentioned the knee, actually. I think he said if he'd have played for Man United and not for Liverpool, he would have been England's greatest ever striker. There you go. From Gary Neville as well. Gary Neville, who hates Scousers, most Man United fan you'll get. Gary Neville said that Robbie Fowler could have been England's greatest ever striker. Says everything. Harry, Jesus Christ. Bloody hell, Harry, that's unbelievable, mate. Thank you very much for sending the super chat. Hey, I don't know your name, but I hope you're okay. I'm a Man United fan and season ticket holder. I was born in 2000, so I don't remember watching him. But I think the fact Paul Ince isn't hated by United or Liverpool fans shows how good he is. Harry, that's a very, very fair point. The reason Paul Ince I don't think is hated... I mean, he captained Liverpool, didn't he? How mad's that he was a United player, played for United for so many years, and then captained Liverpool? Like, that's... You'll never see that again. You'll never, ever see that again, will you? And his son played for Liverpool, of course. Tom Ince came through the Liverpool Academy. So, yeah. But Paul Ince, I'll be honest, mate, I never really took to Paul Ince, purely because I felt like he was a United player. I didn't want an ex-United player at Liverpool. But he always gave his all. And I think, if nothing else, he was he was an hard-working player and he was talented. But I agree. I absolutely agree. And my name, by the way, I'm Key. My name's Key. So thank you, Harry. Good to have you on the channel, mate, and thank you very much again for the super chat. Aberdeen are 1-0 up, and Adrian says Michael Owen loved a goal against Newcastle, as did Fowler, of course. Adrian, that hat-trick against Arsenal in 1994. Yeah. 3-minute hat-trick, or was it 4-minute hat-trick he got? Paul Ince, a West Ham product as well. Yeah, it is right. And Red says the greatest ever Scouser played for Man United, Wayne Rooney. I disagree, but I'm sure you're going to say otherwise. I think Gerrard's the greatest ever Scouser. Wayne Rooney may be a very close second, but I think Robbie Fowler was... Wayne Rooney's a better player than Robbie Fowler. But I think Robbie Fowler was a better young player than Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney absolutely was a better player all round than Robbie Fowler. But Gerrard, for me, is the greatest midfielder ever, who ever lived. I've never seen a better midfielder than Gerrard. Gerrard and Zidane is my all-time midfield. Maybe with Busquets alongside him, if we're doing a 4-3-3. But I've never seen a player run a game like Steven Gerrard and score and tackle and defend and do everything. He's literally... and turn up in the big moments as well. On Twitch, what we saying? Was Robbie Fowler better than Shearer? No, do you know? No, he wasn't. He wasn't better than Alan Shearer because Alan Shearer stayed fit. So if you're talking about availability is the best ability, then no, Robbie Fowler wasn't. Robbie Fowler got a bad injury and he didn't kick on. So by the time Fowler was like 22, 23, he was a shell of the player that he was when he was 2019, 2018 coming through. And it was kind of the same with Michael Owen. Michael Owen was very similar. 92 FC says Newcastle fans think Gordon wants out, but no top team is going to want him. Well, we don't anymore. I'm pretty confident Anthony Gordon's boat, it's like opportunity to play for Liverpool has long since passed now. And Adrian Berder says, like those, or miss those rivalries like Ferguson and Wenger, Keane and Vieira, you don't get nothing like that now. Yeah, I miss that as well. Thomas Hitzelsberger in the studio here for TNT Sports. I've not seen Thomas Hitzelsberger for a while. Wow, Joel Ward and Thomas Hitzelsberger. Garvey, what happened last night? What are we talking about? Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Paul Ince was unreal at Borough as well. Paul Ince, yeah, he bounced around a little bit, didn't he? Paul Ince, to be fair, after he left Liverpool. I don't know, did he go to Wolves first? He was at Borough, he was at Wolves. Kind of moved, yeah, he bounced around a little bit. There's just all sorts of characters in football in the 90s and the early noughties that you just don't get characters anymore. Can't really be a character in football anymore. Duncan Ferguson, everyone knew when you were going to play Everton at Goodison Park, Duncan Ferguson was going to beat you up and it was going to be a hell of a game. Gaza was the man, right? Yeah, hey, Gaza as well. Gaza. Clarkey, Wayne Rooney scored, overhead kick. Steven Gerrard couldn't do that. There's plenty of things Steven Gerrard could do that Wayne Rooney couldn't. Tom, are you slot out or in? Slot in. Very much slot in. Yes, absolutely slot in. Clarkey, win the league. No, Gerrard never won the league, mate. Yeah, Gerrard didn't win the league. Famously, he didn't win the league. But yeah, Gerrard certainly was more of a big game player than Wayne Rooney, by far. Turned up in the big moments, Stevie G. Adrian says, I wouldn't blame no club for not taking Gordon. He's been poor this season. And but isn't that... Would you not also say that that's like Newcastle haven't been brilliant this season either? I feel like often he's and it's not just Gordon, there's a lot of players who get this treatment. They're just scapegoats when a team have a bad season. And Newcastle have been a bit up and down. They've been a bit rocky this season at different points. And Anthony Gordon's been forced to play at centre forward for large parts of the early part of the season before Voltemada came in. You know, and it's been even worse because Anthony Gordon, when he has played, he hasn't necessarily been brilliant. And then Harvey Barnes has stepped in and done incredibly well. So it's always really difficult when you've got like a lot of different players all sort of stepping up in your place. Gordon's never going to have an opportunity to thrive, is he? 92 FC, I don't think Gaza made the most of his playing days while with who he played for. Yeah, I mean, I think people make too much of Paul Gascoigne. Like, he was a very, very talented player, but they've had loads of very talented players over the years. There's been loads of players who never quite fulfilled their potential. You know, Paul Merson, I'll be honest, but honestly, Paul Merson was an unbelievable player. He was another one who was plagued by addiction and drink and drugs and gambling and all this other stuff. Merson was fantastic. There was loads of players like that back in the day. Gaza didn't, and to be honest, Robbie Fowler was probably one of them. Maybe Robbie Fowler was one of them. Fernie, can't touch players now. They are athletes, not like 80s and 90s and noughties when they were footballers. Do you know what? That is absolutely bang on the money. Matt Le Tissier, one of the greatest Premier League players we've ever seen, in terms of being like a pure, raw footballer, I don't think Matt Le Tissier makes it as a modern footballer. He always carried a bit of extra weight, Matt Le Tissier, didn't he? People always said he looks a bit overweight. And then he would be banging hat-tricks in, no problem. The guy was like a proper, pure footballer. Never really had any pace, but just a really talented, really, really top quality footballer. And he carried on doing it for so long. But I don't think Matt Le Tissier would ever make it as a modern footballer now. Jake, Matt Le Tissier has the best highlights reel in football. Honestly, if you had a player with the highlights reel of Matt Le Tissier now, they'd be worth 150 million. You'd be calling him like Neymar. Like, he's the sort of player I want at my club. Because he was a bit of Berbatov, but he could pick the ball up and like, he could run with it as well. He could glide through a midfield. He was, without necessarily being particularly pacey, he took set pieces. He took penalties. I don't think, how many penalties did Le Tissier miss? Crazy. Fernie, Gerrard was on the radio and said he doesn't know where he would fit in the modern game. I think that's more maybe an arrogance thing with Gerrard though, you know. I think Gerrard absolutely believes he would be a top quality player in the modern game, but I think he sees himself as better than, like, Kevin De Bruyne maybe played a little bit further forward than Gerrard ever did, and yet people compare Gerrard and De Bruyne, which is always baffling to me because they're not the same player. They're not even close to the same player. Gerrard could do everything that De Bruyne did and a bucket load more. So I think his way of saying, well, hang on a minute, I reckon you could put me in that midfield and I'd run it on my own. And he probably would. Same with Lampard though. Honestly, Lampard was wonderful. Harry Sinclair, I think what made Gerrard so great is he was an 8 out of 10 or above in everything you want from a midfielder. Like Xavi and Scholes maybe passed better. Lampard scored more. He did, yeah, absolutely right, Harry. Gerrard did it all. Yes. Gerrard could tackle. He could lead. He scored in the big moments like FA Cup finals, Champions League finals. You know, the big games when you need a player to turn up and win it for you. It was always Gerrard. You know, I've never known a player to be more like Captain Fantastic than anybody else. But yeah, Lampard scored more. Gerrard could pass maybe as well as Scholes and Lampard, but they did it differently. They were a little bit more specialist than he was, but he could take free kicks, he could take set pieces, penalties, everything. Jake says Matt Le Tissier missed one penalty, just googled it, and Rob says yes, just played it his way, he wouldn't make it anymore, you have to be 6 foot with pace. And Rob Newby, do you miss Trent? I do miss Trent. Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold as a player, absolutely I miss. He was a joy to watch. He was fantastic. I still believe he's the best right back the Premier League has ever seen. I think he's fantastic, but bit of a shitbag as a person. So, yeah. Chris Richards coming on for Mark Gay at half-time. I wonder if there's maybe a slight knock, a slight injury there. That's a big concern going into Manchester United's game at the weekend. Hopefully it's just a precaution and he's coming off to protect him because we do not want him missing that United game. 92 FC says you never see players these days with a comb over like Bobby Charlton. Do you know what I heard the other week? And I didn't know how true it was. I think it's probably been broken since this. But there was a question that came out, and it must have been about 5 years ago, but I'm sure there's been. It was the last England player to start a game with a moustache. Last England outfield player it was. The last outfield player to start a game for England with a moustache. Because the obvious one is David Seaman, isn't it? David Seaman famously had a moustache. He was in goal. But the last outfield player to start a game for England with a moustache. And I was like, it's a fucking weird question. I love it, but it's a weird question. And I think it's been broken since the answer was given to me. But it was Kenny Sansom. Back in the 80s. The late 80s, Kenny Sansom. 3-star Reds hope Malmo have taken a good look at the Trent end as they start the second half. They won't be attacking it that often. And Rolo says drinking, gambling, drugs, etc. At least he didn't waste his money. He is right. That's it. Fernie, Livramento. Maybe Livramento since then. It might well be. To be honest, has Livramento got a tash? He might have a tash. Rijeka 0, AEK Larnaca 1. And Clarkey, Nemanja Vidic is better than Virgil van Dijk. It's not even close. No, that's not. That's not the case. Again, do you know what? It's so funny. People are using a 33-year-old Virgil van Dijk to like dunk on now because you're finally starting to see that the guy's maybe a little bit human. The guy's been like a fucking cyborg for us for the last 7-8 years or whatever. Yeah, I'm not having for even one moment that there's a centre-back better than Virgil van Dijk in the Premier League. Ever. There has never, ever been a centre-back who literally finished second in the Ballon d'Or. He probably should have won it. He should have won it that year, Van Dijk. He should have won the Ballon d'Or that year. Literally got in between peak Ronaldo and Messi. That's how good Van Dijk was. Samoa Bob says Vidic was always Liverpool's best player when he played against us. Oh, yeah, hey. Nemanja Vidic was good for 6 points for us every year. He was fantastic. We used to know every time Vidic was starting, it'd be like, right, we're playing against 10 men. We're playing against 10 men here. Rolo, do women's footballers count for the Tash quiz question? Now, Rolo, come on. Hey. I'll have no sexism on here. I'll have you know we've watched the Women's Euros. Don't know if that qualifies me for not being sexist, but hey. We have plenty of women watching us. Becoming a bit of a heartthrob, I think. I've told the wife I am anyway. I've told the wife I'm going to start getting love letters, little love letters if I'm not careful. We've got that many women fans watching Premier League, Dad. I have to take me ring off. I have to take me ring off just while I'm on the live. 92 FC, do you think they should cap wages before they get totally out of control? Well, would that have a massive effect? Players have already voted against this, haven't they? I think the players would be quite happy to cap the wages if you could cap everything else. Because that's the problem, innit? Players would be furious if you capped their wages, but at the same time, subscriptions for TV rights stayed the same. Tickets stayed the same. Yeah, they wouldn't be happy with it, would they? So everything would have to be amended. If it was right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to cap wages, but we're also going to use the money that's saved from capping wages, we're going to use to cap ticket prices. All Premier League tickets are going to be 20 quid. That would be immense, wouldn't it? And we're going to get rid of all subscription TV as a result. So all subscriptions will be gone, and all tickets will be capped, and player wages will be capped, and then club, and we'll also cap player shirts and stuff like that. We'll cap all them as well, right? So merchandise and everything. Basically, what you'd be asking is everybody from advertisers, sponsors, players, club, everyone gets a massive drop in income, and that's a very, very hard sell, isn't it? Do you fancy earning less money? Do the same job but earn less is a very, very difficult sell. And that's why you've got agents currently threatening to take clubs to court for exactly that. Clarky, who's your favourite Dutch player who's played in the Premier League? Virgil van Dijk. Closely followed maybe by Dennis Bergkamp. And Ruud van Nistelrooy, even though he was a United player, I always really thought he was... I loved Ruud van Nistelrooy and the way he played. Yeah, he was really good. But yeah, it would be Van Dijk, closely followed by Bergkamp. Goliath, hi Key, how's things today? Good to see you, mate. I'm good. I'm still pretty despondent about Liverpool after last night, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. It's just one of them things. It's, you know... We move on. We live to fight another day, and hopefully West Ham's a little bit better after this. Samoa Bob, you guys don't know you have it. How good you have it with ticket prices. American ticket prices are insane and keep going up. I do know that's the case with American ticket prices, because the World Cup ticket prices are astonishing, aren't they? They're like 8,000 for a reasonable, like, shit game at the World Cup, and sitting right at the back of the stadium, right in the gods. It's like $8,000 a ticket, innit? It's unbelievable. So the World Cup ticket prices are out of this world. Why have someone not told me I've not started the frigging clock for the second half? I've just looked and gone, why is it not even working? Why is it not going? Right, there you go. But yeah, we have it better with ticket prices, I agree. I remember watching... Who was it I watched? The New York Rangers. I went and watched the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Who was they playing? The New York Rangers against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL when I went to New York. And 2 tickets cost me $700. Chance! Emegha! It's 1-1! Emegha's equalised, just as I thought he might. If anyone was going to score against Páez tonight, it was going to be that fella. Chelsea's new centre-forward next year, Emmanuel Emegha. He is on fire this season in Ligue 1, and he's doing brilliantly here. Great ball in from the left-hand side from another Chelsea loanee, Diego Moreira. He knocks it across the face of goal. Emegha with the tap-in, and it's 1-1. Game on in this game. Samoa Bob here in LA, the cheapest ticket is almost $700 and it's the worst seats. Next is $850 for nosebleeds for the World Cup. To be honest, I think I got a little bit lucky. Or maybe it was just because it wasn't a particularly interesting game. I don't know. But it was $750. I might have got robbed by the ticket office or whatever. For basically, like, whatever. Is it courtside? Would it be called courtside? Even though it's the NHL. Ice rink. Rinkside. Is it rinkside, I guess? Yeah, so $750, $800, whatever it was, for 2 tickets. And we were basically about 3 rows back. It was really good. And we got featured on the big screen as well. Although I shouldn't really speak about that. That was with my ex. That was before I got married. Happier times. I am only kidding, love, if you're watching. 3-star Reds after last night are Evangelos looking at tapping up Virgil to play for our netball team. And Harry Sinclair, I don't think Van Dijk is the best centre-back ever, but I also don't understand slating him. I think he's a great centre-back, and I think social media makes it so it's either black or white. Exactly. Yeah, Harry, bang on the money again. Absolutely agree. It's social media is very like that, isn't it? It's got to be either he's absolutely fantastic, the best in the world, the best ever, like the greatest player ever to play the game, nobody's ever been better than him, or he's awful, he's dreadful, he needs to be dropped, he needs to be sacked, we need to sell him to Braintree Athletic, if there's a Braintree Athletic. If there isn't a Braintree Athletic, create that team and he can go to them, because that's how bad he is. Like, there is no in-between on social media. It's very much this or this. And that's kind of what we've witnessed with Arne Slot, isn't it, to be fair? And every other player that you've seen over the last God knows how many years. But Strasbourg 1, Palace 1 here. This is about to get a lot more interesting, I think. We've had a pretty poor start to this game. Palace go in front. They probably should have gone further in front. And now, game started to come alive. Aberdeen 1, Noah 1. And Samoa Bob Gerrard had an incredible career, and so many fans now only think of his slip because of social media. I forget about his slip, honestly. To be honest, when I think about Gerrard, like, slip-ups, to use a poor expression, but when I think of Gerrard slip-ups, I think of, like, the League Cup final against Chelsea where he scores an own goal in the last minute. Literally cost us a trophy in that game. I think of him passing the ball back to Thierry Henry against Arsenal. I think of him passing the ball back to Didier Drogba against Chelsea. He had a few little, like, brain farts like that, Steven Gerrard. But it's the only thing that people have got to throw at him because he's that good. He's literally that good. 92 FC, who do you think is Liverpool's most overrated player over the last 10 years? Well, I can say the most overrated Liverpool player in my lifetime is probably Michael Owen. I'll go that far. He's the most overrated player in my lifetime. If we're talking specifically the last 10 years, most overrated Liverpool player last 10 years. So difficult, that. Overrated. Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane, I think, was always a very, very good player, but he always was a bit of a liability as well. Yeah, probably Sadio Mane. He would be the one. Trying to think of others that would maybe fall into that bracket. Overrated. Last 10 years. I mean, Dominic Szoboszlai, people are treating him like he's a god at the minute, and I'll level with you. He couldn't pass 5 yards last night. So, Dominic Szoboszlai might be at the moment. 92 FC, why Michael Owen? Michael Owen never got 20 league goals. I know I talked about this earlier, but he never got 20 league goals as a player for Liverpool. He won a Ballon d'Or for basically what he did for England. So when we're talking about the most overrated player for Liverpool, me specifically talking about my team, I think Michael Owen would be up there. That's not to say he wasn't a very, very good player, because he was. But I'm talking about, like, the fact that he got a Ballon d'Or. Can't win a Ballon d'Or and not score 20 fucking league goals. Come on. And it wasn't like he was playing in a really poor side either. We finished second while he was, we finished second and won 5 trophies in 2001. We reached the semi-finals. We didn't get the semis. It was the quarters, wasn't it, of the Champions League. And ended up going out to Leverkusen, a very good Leverkusen side in the last minute as well. Michael Ballack knocking us out. Jake Fitzpatrick, still 1-0 Palace. Key, how's the game going? No, it's 1-1, mate. Strasbourg 1-1 against Palace. Ben, need a Palace to win this and a Maccabi goal for £246. Nice. Well, it's 5-0, isn't it, to Lyon? So something tells me Maccabi Tel Aviv is probably not likely. Oh, Palace must be. Oh, how's he missed it? How's he missed it? Must be. Munoz, what are you doing? Oh, my God, that's twice now that Palace have missed an open net. Adam Wharton. Oh, you have had an absolute nightmare. Pender's playing basically as a centre-back and Decore has an absolute nightmare. Wharton off the bar with the net begging. The net is literally begging. He's just got to tap it in. And for some reason, he tries to blast it in the net. Oh, why are you trying to break the net there, Adam? Just pass it in. Just roll it in. You're never, ever going to get it caught. Strasbourg live to fight another day. Palace should really... They should be in front. That's like 2 open nets that they've missed now because of Strasbourg and how they build up at the back. Here we go, corner. Wharton puts it in. Header! Oh, unlucky, just wide from Lacroix. Maxence Lacroix. He's one of the most underrated defenders in the league. I think, Lacroix could be a player worth watching. Ben says, Lyon 6-0. I thought they'd batter them light, but I thought Maccabi would score 1. Lyon are a decent defensive side, Utrecht 2-1 up now. Oh, sorry, Betis. I bet it's 2-1 up against Utrecht. Surely I think I've read that wrong, haven't I? Surely I've read that wrong. Please tell me I've read that wrong. No, Betis. Yeah, Betis 2, Utrecht 1. I thought so. Okay, I did think so. And what are we saying for the Conference League, by the way? Conference League so far, Aberdeen, fine. Breiðablik, Samsunspor 2-1. Fiorentina getting beat by AEK Athens. What is happening in this world? Honestly, what is going on in this world? Shamrock Rovers, Shakhtar. Palace, Strasbourg. AEK Larnaca. What happened in the Europa League? It was I had earlier. PAOK v Brann, no. Betis Utrecht, Eagles Stuttgart, Genk Bâle, Tel Aviv Lyon, Forest Malmo, Panathinaikos Sturm Graz, Rangers Braga. I need Braga. Oh, I really need Braga. I could do with Braga getting back in that one. 92 FC, I think I might have 100 quid on Liverpool next game, or am I mad at just under evens? Yeah, that's silly. The smart money isn't on Liverpool at the minute, mate. I'll really be honest with you. Ben, imagine a Maccabi pen here now. Come on, you Israelis. come on, you Israelis. Just so you can win a bet. Jesus. Jackson, what do you think Liverpool should do to succeed? Drop Kanate, drop Salah, drop McAllister, and drop Gakpo. Drop those 4. Braga might be getting a red card, says Dylan, a Man United fan. What a class game from Liverpool. Lol. Your manager has one more week. No, mate. He'll still be manager at the end of this. Still be manager next season, Arne Slot. Harry says, who's the better team? Honestly, I think Strasbourg have had a decent half so far, but it's like proper kamikaze defending. Proper kamikaze defending from him. And look at them again. They're doing it here now. It's so mad, this way of I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. The goalkeeper is basically playing as a centre-back, and Palace are pressing so high that if the defender loses the ball, the goalkeeper's like stood on the far edge of his penalty area, and they've just got to tap in. They've got to tap in there. Pup says red card for Martinez of Braga, and Fernie have a bet on Liverpool to win on the 6th of December. Is that Leeds? Oh. How are you feeling about Danny Farker, Fernie? Do you think it's time? I was listening to a podcast earlier between Mick McCarthy and Tony Pulis, and they were talking about Danny Farker and how they were saying, do you know what, I really like him as a manager. He's a really talented coach, but he's had a couple of cracks at the Premier League now with different clubs and it hasn't worked out, and I feel like he's being pigeonholed as a wonderful championship manager that can definitely bring sides up, but when it gets to the Premier League he's maybe a bit limited and doesn't quite respond how teams want him to. And it's just feeding into that narrative a little bit. I think Danny Farker probably does end up leaving. 3-star Reds, Anderson coming on as well. Malmo players have just gone off to change their shorts. Betis 2, Utrecht 2. And Harry says, reckon Palace will win, or should I cash out? I'd cash it, mate. Yeah. That's not necessarily to think... I don't think that Strasbourg will win. I just think Palace haven't taken their chances up to now. There's been too many times where Palace are literally with an open goal. Twice they've been presented with an open goal and missed it. Hit the crossbar. Fernie, no, as when we go down, he probably is the best manager to get us back up, plus no one else is about. That's true enough. I guess that is one way of looking at it, isn't it? Is, you know, if you expect to go down, then he's probably the right guy to bring you back up. But do you then sack him once he gets you back to the Prem? Harry Sinclair, bet on United to lose at Leeds on the 3rd of January. United to lose at Leeds. Good grief. Hey, that won't go down well if Amorim starts losing to Leeds. Ben says, Jesus, my Israelites haven't had a shot on target. 5 off target. And Be Yourself Dylan says, Aston Villa could be second this weekend as they play Wolves. Come on, Wolves. I really want Wolves to get out of this relegation scrap. Because I hate Borough. I really want Middlesbrough not to come up. And Wolves, Rob Edwards to get Wolves out of it. Because I can just... Borough fans will be like, oh, I don't like... And I'd love it. I'd love it. Adrian says, get your money on Everton at home to Newcastle. Banker. Newcastle's away form is horrendous. No, I'm telling you, you're going to do it. This is where it all ends. I'm telling you, you're going to beat Everton this weekend. I'm watching you 5:30 on Saturday. I am really looking forward to that one. I've decided I'm going to do 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. The 3 big games on Sunday, to be fair. It's Palace against United, followed by Liverpool, West Ham, followed by Chelsea, Arsenal. It really is a super Sunday. But Saturday, I'm going to be doing... I don't know whether to do Leicester, Sheffield United, or maybe Stockport. I've not decided what the 12:30 game is, but the 5:30 is obviously Newcastle away at Everton. That's going to be a great game. Harry Sinclair says 4th, not 3rd, but it is that weekend. Right, okay. Got ya. Harry, is Palace dominating? Not really. No. They're not dominating either. They're not being dominated. Be Yourself Dylan, Stoke v Hull could be a good match. Do you know what? I could be swayed by Stoke. Because Stoke are a very, very good entertaining side to watch this season as well. So, yeah, I could maybe be swayed by watching Stoke and Hull. Oh, claim for a penalty from Enciso. Nah, you're not getting that. Long ball up the pitch. Ref, that's a foul and a free kick. And it should be a yellow card, that. He's not even give the free kick. Oh, ref, you've had an absolute shocker there. 92 says, Newcastle seem to play better under the lights. You're going to beat Everton this weekend, I'm telling you. Don't let this Man United performance fool you. You've got an Everton side that are not going to have Idrissa Gana Gueye, and an Everton side that don't have Idrissa Gana Gueye are not going to be in... They're going to be a side that Newcastle should run through. Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton should have the freedom of the Bramley Moor dock. The Hill Dickinson Stadium, the Hill Dicko. Breidablik 2, Samsung Sport 2. Oh no! Breidablik goal, I've got Samsung Sport on. And Jordan, pointless dominating when we can just miss 2 open goals. It's crazy that, isn't it, Jordan? Absolutely crazy. I don't know how Wharton misses the second. I mean, the one from Sarr in the first half was bad, but it was a bit further out. Wharton's is basically inside the box, or on the edge of the box. Here we go. Palace chance. Must be. Oh, good block from Strasbourg, and it's gone behind for the corner from Decore. Ben McCarby will prob score now. Cash it. Told you, cash it. That was going miles wide anyway from Jefferson Lerma. That was going out for a throw-in. Right, corner to Palace. Come on, Palace. Come on, Palace. Reece, have we recovered after yesterday, Key? Do you know what? Leg it, you. Come in here trying to wind me up. Rangers 1, Braga 1. 10 men, Braga. Notification says, when did Liverpool have a gold kit? When did Liverpool have a gold kit? Are you talking about this one? That was 95, 96, or was it 99? 96, 97, I think it was. Yeah, 96, 97, I think. Let me confirm. Liverpool, 96, 97 away kit. No, it wasn't 96, 97. Was it 95? Was it 95, 96? It might have been 97, 98 then. Christ. When was the cream one? It wasn't 98, 99. There's no way it was 98, 99. When was it then? Was it 94, 95? I'm lost here. Liverpool cream kit, 90s. 96, 99, third kit it was. 96, 97. Ben says, I reckon Samson Sport and Palace will score both and win. Strasbourg, oh, claim for the penalty. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. And Reece says, everyone making a scene of these talks. Arna has had absolutely nothing to worry about. Mate, yeah, it's, to be honest, it's people just being silly, innit? People being daft. Harry says, I don't know how Strasbourg fans watch this every week. I'm getting heart palpitations from their build-up and I don't even want them to win. And Tobias Denker says, what's the score? Score is... no, over this way. Over this way. 1-1. Strasbourg 1, Palace 1. That's the score right now, Tobias. Good to have you as always, mate. And Adrian says, I'll be here for that one. I'm really worried Nick Pope has to be dropped. Would you put Ramsdale in at this point then? Has he been that bad? It's interesting. And Jordan says, I'm used to it by now. Happens every week. It's usually Mateta, though. You don't like Mateta? I can't believe how much you dislike Mateta. He's unbelievable. Shamrock Rovers 0, Shakhtar 2. And Jordan says, can these mans learn to pass? Adrian, I don't rate Bruno. He's passionate, but he's way too slow. Loses possession a lot. And 3-Star Red says, 92 FC with Ange. They said it was better to see Forest without the lights, especially in evening matches. And Reece, the Forest game is mind-numbingly boring. Oh, well, I'm glad I chose the right game. I'm glad I've picked the right one, because this has been alright second half. It's been a lot better second half. Certainly better than the first. And now there's a bit of a scrap going on. And there might be a red card here. There's a claim for a red card. It's going to be a yellow card, though, and it's a free kick to Palace, but I think the way that the player goes in on Pino there, it's a bit naughty, that. It's a yellow. Looked like he left studs on him, you know. El Murabet. Yellow card. Let's watch this back. Oh, I tell you what. Do you know what? Pino basically studs him in the shin. Right, Nanasi's come off. Kendry Páez. Chelsea loanee. Another Chelsea. This is basically 9 players of Chelsea's here. Emmanuel Emega's going off. Another Chelsea loanee. Kendry Páez is coming on. Chelsea loanee. You're basically playing Chelsea's B team here, Jordan. Emegha coming off. Who's coming on? Panichelli. He isn't a Chelsea loanee, Panichelli, but he is in great form as well this season. Tom, if Slot doesn't change his ways, he'll be gone. Don't be stupid. Don't be silly. Slot is going absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Arne Slot's going nowhere, and he's too good. He's too good. Simon, are you seriously backing Slot? Are you seriously wanting him sacked? Are you seriously wanting him sacked 3 months after he's won the league title? Get a grip, mate. Get a grip. There's no serious Liverpool fan wants Slot sacked. None. No legitimate Liverpool fan. Ronnie says, I think it's weird that United and Palace play 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock sharp as well, isn't it? Palace chance! Oh, have you missed it? Oh, it's got to be 2-1. Is it Pino? Oh, Pino. You absolute pinner. What are you doing? Oh. Jordan says, it's not that I don't like him, it's the fact people hype him up so much. Yes, his hold-up play is unreal, finishing usually okay, but it's the amount of chances he needs to finish it that people don't understand. Right, okay, so he's maybe not as clinical as I big him up to be. Munoz, Pino, keeper, good save from Penders, but I feel like Pino's got to score that one, Jordan. What do we think? End of the day, if he wasn't playing fluent good football and getting as many chances in every game, he wouldn't be on half the goals he's on. That's the issue. Harry Sinclair, the thing is, Key, when you don't watch a team regularly, you sometimes just end up watching their good or bad games. Good or bad games from players, and it skews your perception. Absolutely agree, yeah. Couldn't agree more. And I'm saying that as someone who, and it's not like as a, like I feel very, very lucky to be able to do what I do, and I enjoy doing what I do. I probably watch more footy than, say, the average person. I'm not saying I've watched more footy than anyone, but oh, Strasbourg! Oh, they've won it! They've won it! Oh, but it's 77th minute. I can't believe it. Strasbourg have gone in front. Strasbourg have gone in front. It's 2-1. Oh, it's a free kick from Enciso. It bounces off the bar, comes back out, and then tapped in from El Murabet, the midfielder who's just been booked. It's 2-1 Strasbourg. Oh, hey. Palace fans, not good. Let's just watch this one back. Free kick. Is he onside? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit unlucky. Ronnie, a midday game on Sunday is odd. Hopefully Cunha is back for the game. He was missed against Everton. And Daz, what's your 11 for Sunday now? Good news about Wirtz. My 11 for Sunday now, Daz, would be Alisson in goal. Do you know what? I'd be tempted to put... No, I wouldn't. I'd put Curtis Jones at right back again. So I'd go Alisson, Curtis Jones at right back, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Kirkes. No, I want Andy Robertson on the pitch, but I want Kirkes on as well. I'm gonna go Andy Robertson on at left back, Kirkes at left wing. So I'd go Andy Robertson left back, Curtis Jones right back, centre back Gomez, Van Dijk, Alisson in goal. Midfield three of Szoboszlai, Endo, Gravenberch. Kirkes off the left, Isak through the middle, and I give Mo Salah another chance because he's our best player. And he's a leader, and I want to see him do better. But he can't keep doing that. He really can't. I mean, no, Chiesa. No, Chiesa. I'd put Chiesa in. Not Salah. Chiesa off the right, Kirkes off the left, Isak through the middle. It's a bit of a mishmash. It's a weird one. But Robertson at left back, Van Dijk, Gomez, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, Endo, Gravenberch. There you go. That's the team. That is the team for me. Reese says, I knew Palace were washed. And Tom says, the reason he hasn't been sacked is because the manager market is terrible. No, the reason he hasn't been sacked is because it isn't the right thing to sack him. Because he is a wonderful manager, and you don't sack wonderful managers who have already won you a Premier League title 3 months into the new season. When you're 2 points off fourth, by the way, no, you don't sack that manager. You do not sack that manager. Daz, do you know how long Frimpong is out and Bradley? Frimpong, I think, and Bradley about another 2 weeks. I think they said it's the second week of December they're looking at for both players, so about 2 weeks. So we're going to miss them for another 3 or 4 games, sadly. So we better get preparing for that. If you're watching along, by the way, if you haven't yet, please do consider liking, watching, subscribing, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Massively helps. Make sure you get over to YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, X. I'm live. I'm tweeting every day on X. So if you want to get involved in these discussions, please do get involved on X as well. 3-star Reds, another young academy player coming on for Forest. As a fan, this is what I love to see. Game 1 and give a young lad 8 minutes in the first team in a top European competition. Harry Sinclair says, controversial opinion, I wouldn't sack Amorim. His job is to raise the floor, like the minimum quality in the squad, and you don't do that by chopping and changing managers every year. It's a fair point. It's not that controversial, that, Harry. I think that's entirely fair, entirely reasonable. I've seen a number of... This is almost why, though, if I'm honest, Harry, and it's refreshing to hear a United fan say this, but I've had a lot of United fans come on and say slot out, slot out, slot out, and yet they're not as trigger happy with their own manager. Not many United fans want Ruben Amorim sacked, do they? And yet he finished 16th and trophyless last year. So, you know, and it's not going all that well this year, let's be dead straight, you know. You're only ahead of Liverpool on goal difference after our worst season in 50-odd, 70-odd years. Palace... Hit it! Oh, Sa, what are you doing? So yeah, so I feel like the standards that Man United fans are applying to Liverpool that they aren't willing to apply to themselves. Ronnie, I think we'll draw with Palace on Sunday. Just a feeling for me. Amorim is the guy, before the guy, who will win major stuff for us. I honestly, I think there's a lot to be said for sticking with a manager and sticking with him through thick and thin. I think you've got to. You've got to stick with him through thick and thin, and that means it's going to be a bit tumultuous and a bit funny and a bit difficult. Potentially a penalty for Braga at Ibrox. Chance for Strasbourg. Big save from Henderson. Kendry Páez very nearly making it 3-1. Oh, it's a great little bit of play that from Enciso and Páez. Oh, do you know what? He should do better there, Páez. Great save from Dean Henderson. England's number 1, eh, Jordan? Right, Barco is going to take the corner here. Left-footed. Strasbourg corner. Can they make it 3-1? No penalty, says VAR. Cheers, Dylan. Ball whipped in. Oh, nearly ahead of her from Strasbourg. It's all the way through to Enciso. Inside on his left. No, going to be a free kick. Free kick. 92 FC says Ferguson had a bad start at United. Oh, Christ, that's it. That's the perfect example of showing loyalty to a manager when it gets bad. You stick with him. You stick with him. And not only do you stick with him, but you let the players and the fans know we're sticking with him. So no matter what, this guy is going to be with us for the long term. And I love that. I wish more clubs did that. Certainly I hope that Liverpool do that. I don't want Liverpool to be a trigger-happy club. I don't want Liverpool to be in a constant sort of flux of change. I don't like that. I think we need consistency to be any real success. Harry, I personally think it's ridiculous to sack Slot, but I also don't want to tell Liverpool fans how to feel about your own club. So if there are fans that want him sacked, then fair enough. Well, you're far more diplomatic than I, Harry. See, I'm far more stubborn and probably disliked in that sense, because I'll quite happily say I don't think if you're a Liverpool fan calling for Arne Slot out, you're not a Liverpool fan. You're not a Liverpool fan, in my opinion. You're talking out your backside. And most of the people saying that, I do genuinely believe most of the people saying that are doing it just for clicks and likes, and maybe they've got a social media channel or whatever. I don't know. And yeah, like I said, if I wanted to do stuff just for clicks and views, the other night I would have been saying Slot out, because you got thousands. You got absolutely thousands of them. That was the thing. If you was doing clickbait the other night, that was a prime opportunity to clickbait. Ronnie, as we're playing against Palace, Henderson will have world-class saves, and I hate the idea of sacking managers. Sacking happy with managers. I mean, look at Forest. I mean, Forest have done all right out of sacking Ange and putting Sean Dyche in there, but I agree that the idea of putting Ange in didn't quite work. He got 8 games and basically got a big chunky payoff for barely any time as manager. That was the best, honestly, the best interview and the best sacking that Ange Postecoglou has ever had, because it didn't really tarnish his reputation and it didn't really do anything in terms of hurting him. I still think Ange Postecoglou will get another big job in the Premier League at some point. A guy who's won a European trophy will definitely get another opportunity at the Premier League. And he's and he got eight games and a massive payoff. Martin says Slot needs to go. He won't sub Salah. Well, time will tell, mate. Time will tell, because I think he will get rid of Salah. I think he's going at the end of this season, Mo Salah. 3-star Reds, calling it a night, Key. See you for the weekend streams, mate. Thanks for the great week of entertainment. As always, good to see you. As always, mate. And yeah, great result for Forest tonight. Adam, what's Glasner's next stop? Hopefully he stays with Palace. Ideal world, you'd want him to stay, wouldn't you? This fella's going to be next for the big job in the Premier League. Liam Rosenior, he's doing a phenomenal job at Strasbourg, and yeah, he's got a burgeoning reputation in Ligue 1. Rolo says, thought it was a bottle of red wine in the middle of the screen, but it's a mic. It is a mic. It's not. I'm not really a lover of wine. I had one bad night on wine. Can't touch it anymore. That was about 15 years ago as well. Harry, it worked for Chelsea because they had about 6 or 7 players in that dressing room who were international captains. The dressing room ran itself. Most dressing rooms need a culture and tactics. Agreed. And Fernie, do you still think the loss of a teammate is affecting the Liverpool players? It takes time to get over a loss. Yes, mate. Yeah, I said this earlier on, so without at risk of repeating myself for anyone that was here earlier on, I genuinely think whenever you have a shock loss in your life, if you lose someone close to you that maybe you weren't expecting to lose, and it's quite sudden, you tend to have periods of, it's part of grief, isn't it? You have periods of apathy and nihilism where you kind of, nothing really matters, and you're just quite generally apathetic to everything in life. And I think that's normal, and I think as a result you would see players losing resilience, at the slightest thing knocking you back, and that's what we're seeing with Liverpool, isn't it? The slightest thing, as soon as Liverpool go a goal down or miss an opportunity, miss a chance, a penalty gets given against them, anything, we look crap, we look shot to bits. Mentally, we are absolutely shot to bits. So yeah, I think there's that. There's confidence is obviously a big thing, and that's going to compound every time we lose a game. And on such a run that we are, whatever it is, 9 defeats in 13 or whatever it is, it's always going to affect the team. And it's certainly affected the fans, and that's the thing that's most disappointed me, how quick the fans have been to turn on Arne Slot. This whole "you'll never walk alone" mantra. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into that all that carry on. It's absolute nonsense for most of the fans. You'll never walk alone. It's ridiculous. The amount of fans who've turned on Arne Slot. No. MC says Ange being linked with the Liverpool job, apparently. He's not getting the Liverpool job. Ronnie, for me, what's the main sticking point for Ruben is when Mbeumo and Ahmad go to AFCON. Will he use the academy? He's been talking a lot about it now, but will he do it? I love Bruno, but for me, he's too frustrating as our captain. United losing Mbeumo and Amad Diallo for a month is massive, isn't it? I honestly think the AFCON this year could be like seismic for so many teams. I actually think it will benefit Liverpool in many ways because we will have to deal without Mo Salah and Slot will have to play 4-4-2. I think that's the opportunity he's waiting for. He's waiting for Salah to go so he doesn't have to drop him. He doesn't have to deal with the noise and the PR of you dropped Mo Salah. He doesn't have to deal with that. Or he doesn't have to deal with Salah sulking. He just says, right, yeah, off you go to the AFCON, no problem. And then Liverpool adapt and play really, really well with our 4-4-2 system. I am telling you that's what will happen. Isak and Ekitike will play together when Salah goes to the AFCON and Liverpool will recover. Adam says, I disagree. The Forest job did damage Ange's credibility. And Fernie, Ange's being linked with the Leeds job. My God, no thanks. Really? Would you not have him at Leeds? That's bizarre. Harry Sinclair says, I heard a journalist on TNT make a good point where unlike most people, football players and managers are in an industry where you get found out if you just turn up. But most people would just turn up. Yeah, exactly. It's not like us in a normal office job or, building site or whatever, any type of normal 9 to 5 per se. You can turn up, can't you, hungover. You can turn, I'm not saying you should, by the way, but you can turn up and you can be, a bit of an headache. How'd you feel this morning, Key? Bag of shit, bit of a dicky tummy, or I've had a bad night, I've not slept great, but I'm still here, I'm still ready to work. I'll probably be a 6 or a 7 out of 10 today. You're not going to get me best day, but I'll do a job for you. I'm still here. I'm turning up for the team. So that's fine. But if you're a Premier League player, you can't have that, because if you switch off for even 1 millisecond and the player runs off the back of you, that's the difference. That might be the difference between winning and losing. It's the difference between a manager getting sacked and not. Imagine Liverpool play really, really well against West Ham, like unbelievably well, and one player switches off and Liverpool concede, and that's what ends up getting Arne Slot the sack. Because one guy switched off. 4 added minutes here, by the way. Ronnie Dodge says, I don't think Mbeumo will be gone for long, especially with Onana in goal for Cameroon. You'd be surprised, Onana's not a bad goalkeeper. He's done all right when he's been challenged at Trabzonspor. He's actually done okay in Turkey. Clarkey says, Key, I don't think Liverpool players don't play for the badge. I don't think Liverpool players don't play for the badge, and it's embarrassing. And Martin says, Salah on the second goal made me smash the lot. Yes, Salah was embarrassing on that second goal, wasn't he? He was shocking. Really poor. AEK 0, Larnaca 0. It's looking like Strasbourg are going to win this, We've got a minute left, 60 seconds to go. Breidablik 2, Samsunspor 2. And Pope says, how can Braga get a man sent off and it looks like Rangers are a man down? It's one of them things. It happens. Europe does produce some strange results, strange performances. It happens all the time. That's poor. Grimsby 1, Tranmere 2. Tranmere have won. That's great. Genk 2, Bâle 1. Reese, did you see Arsenal Academy played the youngest ever player in the Youth Champions League? Who was that? Who was that? I saw Darman's goal. I thought that was spectacular, the goal from Darman against... it was Leverkusen, wasn't it, he was playing? There you go. Strasbourg win. El Murabet and Emegha with the goals. Ben Chilwell celebrating on the pitch. Liam Rosenior wins and solidifies his burgeoning reputation as an up-and-coming young manager. Absolutely unreal. John T. Apps, you don't watch much football. No, not too many, mate. 600. On course for 600 games in 2025. So, make your own mind up. Reese says Darman's goal was out of this world, and Martin said lad was 13. Fucking hell, 13 playing in the Champions League. Crazy. Maccabi Tel Aviv 0, Lyon 6. That one's finished. Full time in well, it's not in Israel, is it? I don't know where they're playing. Is it Poland? Might be Poland. I don't know where is Maccabi Tel Aviv are playing tonight. Can anyone tell me? Maccabi Tel Aviv v Lyon. What stadium's it at? TSC Arena. Oh, it's at Baka Topola, isn't it? Baka Topola, which is Slovenia. Is it? Oh, it's Slovakia, isn't it? Baka Topola is Slovakia, I'm pretty confident. Oh no, Serbia. Serbia it is. Right, Drita 1, Skendio 0. Disappointing night for Palace. Anyway, listen, they can get back to winning ways this weekend against Man United. Come on, Palace. We'll be cheering them on again this weekend against United. I'm rooting for Palace. I'm rooting for Liverpool. I'm rooting for Newcastle away at Everton. And I'll be rooting for Arsenal against Chelsea. Even though, to be honest, I hope they just kick lumps out of each other. Just kick lumps out of each other in that game. I love it. Right, good to see you all. Lots of love. I will see you all tomorrow for Oxford United against Ipswich. We're back into the EFL tomorrow. We're live again for, live again for the EFL Championship game. So enjoy your Thursday night, whatever you're doing. I hope whatever goes well for you tomorrow, whether it's work or college or school or whatever you've got. I hope all's good, and I'll see you tomorrow night if you're going to join me for Oxford against Ipswich. Have a good one. See you soon.